Southside 457.
Did you know that the South Side on Lamar is a National Historic Building?
This building tells a story.
I need a story to connect to with my heart.
There are so many stories in this building.
I wanted to teach other people how to naturally love themselves, and so I ventured into the field of opening my own spot.
There are people in this building with a passion to share what they know.
When I share my knowledge and my skills and my gift, I'm serving my purpose.
Preachers, teachers, architects, attorneys, engineers, artists of all kinds in this building.
What makes this place tick to me and makes it exciting is the combination of so many different kinds of people.
It's like a melting pot.
It's like a melting pot.
15 years, I've never regretted being here at Southside.
Welcome to the Southside 457 podcast. I'm your host, Walter Johnson Jr. Let's get it on. You can't miss the princess.
Listen, Linda, listen.
Southside 457.
Welcome to the Southside 457 podcast. I'm your host, Walter Johnson Jr., and today we have another special guest, my brother, Quinton McCright with Hope on Wheels. Welcome, brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
How are you, man?
I'm good. I got my coffee. I'm good.
So one of the questions that we always ask everybody is, how did you get to the South Side on Lamar? Because you don't just bump into it. It's not a place you just accidentally come. It will be sooner than later. But how did you get here?
Crazy, man. I had some customers in this building years ago, and I knew nothing of it. I grew up, born and raised in Dallas, so dropping my mom or dad off at work, they were driving, obviously, but we would see the big Sears building. And I remember this. And so me fast forward as an adult having customers, I'm repairing their cars here. And I would come over here and I'm like, man, this is a cool building. And it kept happening. It just kept happening. And I was like, okay, let me check this out. So I came in one day and they gave me a tour and I was sold.
Yeah.
I was already highly interested in it by going into some of the other lofts. But it was just me coming in myself and just like, okay, yeah, this is perfect. I love it. So I applied and I got approved. I'm here.
Yeah. So you say you had customers here. So
yeah.
What exactly do you do?
I'm an auto mechanic. Been a mechanic since 2003. I was working for Pep Boys as a installer, and they sent me to school, and I got licensed, and then the rest is history. That's 19 plus years of being in the industry. But it's crazy. My dad was a mechanic. I was trying to be a real estate agent.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I never went and took my test, and then I needed a job when I got out of high school. So I was like, man, let me go and apply for this job at Pep Boys. Just walk in, and they hired me on the spot.
Yeah.
And then I started the next day. I got hired at the interview as a walk-in, and then the next day, which was Mother's Day 2003.
Yeah.
And then, I got all of my hands-on experience there.
So have you always been into cars, or did you get into cars?
Oh, man, yeah. I love cars. My dad had a 67 Camaro, and we used to love sitting in it, even though it was all ragged out. Floor pans were rusted, floorboards were rusted out. We used to just go in there and sit and mess with the gear shift like we're driving it. Yeah. Shifting gears and everything. So I've always been into cars. My dad, he passed away in 2019, but he still lives on. Like my uncle told me, he said, man, your dad would be proud of you. Because I didn't really want to take the route of being a mechanic. I ran from it for a while, but it's here. It's not. Yeah. I tried working at, corporate jobs and banks and stuff like that, and it just was never, I either get fired or I was always getting written up, and I just couldn't sit still. It was, and I believe that at that moment, God was disturbing my soul to say, hey, this is not where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a means to an end, but it wasn't, that wasn't my purpose. Yeah.
So when you were working at Pep Boys, and you got into the groove, you said you were just doing just light work. When did you decide that you wanted to go deeper, or did they encourage you because they saw something in you and it's like, you know what, you should go deeper, or is it something you decided, like, or was it when you encouraged you to do it, or is it something that you just decided to do?
To be honest with you, I was always put in those types of situations. So like, I worked the night shift, which was 12 to 9, and most of the mechanics, the licensed mechanics, they go home at 6, and so sometimes we'll get a customer come in. It's like, hey, they need an alternator changed, and I'm the only one that knows how to do it, even though I had never done it on the car. I know the application, and most of the applications on most vehicles are the same.
So they had you freestyling up in there.
Oh yeah, listen, but they knew I could do it though, because I showed myself able to do different things, before that. I remember I changed the heater cord in a Cadillac, and everybody was so shocked. But I had just like a little small toolbox that you carry around like a tackle box, and it was the craziest thing because I didn't have this big giant toolbox of everybody else that's 20 years in the game. They got this big giant $20,000 toolbox, and I just had this little $50 toolbox from Sears, and I had regular tools that I needed, and people were shocked. But it goes to show that you can do so much with so little. You don't really need to have this. I mean, God, if that gift is there, He's gonna make way for it. Yeah. So it was a big deal for me because I still struggled with my identity, what I wanted to do. And it was always points where I was like, man, I done hurt my hand or busted my hand open, hand slipped off a wrench or something. And I'm like, man, I'm tired of this. I don't want to do this no more. And it was several of those moments, and then I find myself back in it, and it's like I can't run from it. It's here.
So it's something you would call your passion right now?
Oh yeah, man, I love cars. I have dream cars. I have things that I want to do. Cars that I wish I had, I have my own little artistic way of thinking about certain cars. I mean, that's the beauty of even with my organization, taking something most people don't want, and it's their trash, or no, it's like, oh, we don't want that car. It's not, but I see the potential in it, and that comes with time of understanding that it doesn't have to be perfect. All you need is a little bit.
Let me ask you this real quick.
Yeah.
Just as a side note, we'll get back to that. So what's your dream car? What's your favorite car? Like what's the ride for you?
Can I give them all?
Yeah, give them all.
Okay. 96 Toyota Supra.
A 96 Toyota
96
Supra.
Toyota Supra.
For the speed? Or
it's the speed, the power, the design. I mean, that car when it was built was well before its time. When it comes to power, if you do the history on it, they didn't put the right numbers out for the car. Okay, it's pushing 280 horsepower, but that car is way faster than that. It's putting out, but they had to put it there for the government, but that car was pushing 4 or something probably. And, back then that was fast. Yeah. And with the technology now, you've ridden in a car like that, you get on that pedal, it's going to pin you to the seat. Yeah. So.
Toyota Supra, 1996 Toyota Supra.
Yeah. 67 Pontiac GTO.
60.
They call it the GOAT. Okay. Yeah, I love that car. I first, there was a movie with Bruce Willis and Billy Bob Thornton, and I forget the name of it, but they had that car in the movie, and it was so beautiful. Yeah, I forget the name.
So you like muscle cars?
It's not so much of a muscle car. I just like the durability. Now, when you think about the cars now, they're not well built.
I agree with that.
They put them together and tack a hefty price tag on them and say this is that. And it's like, okay, how does it match with the cars of old? You know, it doesn't. I mean, you think about the body structures of the older cars. You know, we always joke around, man, you get hit with that big bumper, it's gonna tear that little car up. You know, but it's one of those things where you just like, I love the old. I mean, and I guess it makes sense too when you think about even this building. It looks old on the outside, but on the inside, it's all renewed and updated and everything like that.
The real test is time.
Oh, yeah. But that's the thing. With the cars, the real test, like you said, the real test is time. But as time get older, as time goes on, those cars, the value still goes up.
Yeah.
You don't have that with these cars nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's just...
They're not really made to last. They're made to just just get you around and then go sell the metal again, and they'll, you know, they're made to be recyclable.
Yeah. One more car I really, really like is got the least amount of tech to it, but it's a beast, a Ferrari F40.
I was wondering if you're gonna name one of them supercars.
Yeah, Ferrari F40, man. That is, it's just the basic car. It doesn't have any tech or anything like that, but it's just raw power. Just
engine and radio.
Just engine and radio. It's one of the things. I wouldn't even want to change the radio. You know, sometimes you know, like in the Supra, I'll update the radio to touchscreen, Apple, whatever. But that car, I would leave it just like it is. I wouldn't change anything. Yeah, just straight. And just keep in mind, all the cars are stick shift. I don't want to automatic. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so back to what we're talking about passion.
Yeah.
So explain what Hope on Wheels is.
Yeah.
And your passion behind it, and like why you do what you do what you do with that, and all of that.
You ready?
Let's go.
All right, man. So
hold on, you switching gears?
Downshifted. So I had a friend years ago. I mentioned him, Antonio Johnson. He was a radio personality here in Dallas, and he had given me a car, and it was a Mercury Sable. It had blown head gasket, and I ain't gonna lie, he was bad on cars. That was like the third car he had since I knew him. And but he had given me that car after it broke down, and he was like, "Man, I think you should do something with this car. I don't know. Maybe you should sell it, fix it, and sell it." And he knew I could fix it. Well, as I'm in the backyard working on the car, I had taken the engine apart, and oh yeah, it's got a blown head gasket. So took it apart, and then I as I'm working on it, I'm putting it back together, and it took me some time because if initially it was going to be an investment. Okay, you can fix it and sell it. That's what I decided to do. And as I'm sitting there working on it, I hear Spirit of God tell me, "You need to donate the car." And I was like, "What?" And it was so easy for me to do. As far as, okay, it wasn't a fight back and forth. Like, why do you want me to give it away? Why do you want me to donate it? It wasn't anything like that. It was just straight, okay. And it was like it was an instruction. This is what you need to do. If ever I was battling with, what should I do? That was the answer. I got it, and I fixed it. And at the time I was dating this young lady. She had a friend that the lady had about 3 kids, I think. And she lived in Fort Worth. It was her birthday, and I had finished the car, drove it around, made sure the AC was working, everything. And she was like, "Hey," and I told her, I was like, "Hey, I'm going to donate the car." And she knew just the person because the young lady, she was getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning, on the bus for 3 hours to take the kids to school and daycare and stuff. And then she comes back and she's going to work. And we had a little kickback for her at her house, fish fry and stuff like that. And I drove the car there. And her and I, the young lady that I was dating, she was like, this is going to be big. And I didn't, I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm just going to donate the car. She needs it. And I got to, giving her the car, told her about what was going on. And she cried to no end. She cried. I mean, and it was at that moment I knew that what I was doing was purposeful.
Because you made her cry.
No, it
No, I'm,
wasn't.
I'm joking.
It
I'm
was
joking.
that it had changed her life.
Yeah, I
you know,
understand.
imagine you walking or depending on, you know, somebody to do this for you or that for you or, you know, provide this, and then all of a sudden you get a car.
Yeah, cars and houses are the largest purchases we make.
Man, and I'm telling you, like, it doesn't matter what the car looks like. It doesn't matter, you know, any of that. You now can become independent and go from A to B. And as I got older and grew in my faith, I understood what independence means, you know, in the body of Christ. The enemy wants you to be dependent, but God wants you to be independent. And I say that because you're depending on God for you and and whatever He's providing for you. But you're in the mentality of prison when you're, you know, hey, can I get this? And you feel like that you're stuck with, you know, hey, I can't move around. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can go to the doctor now. And nowadays they have, ride share and Uber Eats and DoorDash and all. You can make money, you know? And so it's a means for building the economy. It's and it's providing stability for the person receiving the car. But then, man, it's just a life-changing experience. And I think that, I heard this preacher say this one day. He said, what we have, the gifts that we have, we're supposed to utilize it for others, you know, and that's what it's for, you know. And so God gave me that gift to fix cars, to work on cars, to understand the intricacies of it. Let me utilize it to help the next person.
So Hope on Wheels, how do you decide who to give the car to? Are people giving you suggestions? Do you have a whole list? Do people? Is there a waiting list? Is there, like, what's the process? And how do you decide who gets?
So,
and how do you get the vehicles? And maybe you can, you know, explain that. And
so I'll tell you how I get the vehicles first. The vehicles, and I'm always driving around looking for cars. If you can see it and tell a car has been sitting up for a long time by the dirt, trash that's under the tires or something like that, or the tires are flat, or the inspection or registration stickers are out. And I'll go knock on the door. I'm not ashamed, or you know, I'm just like, hey, I mean, we have an organization where we take cars like this and we fix them and donate them to people. As far as the process is concerned, you know, it's a tax write-off for them, a full tax deduction, and it goes to a good cause, which either if it's too bad, like as far as, let's say the car needs an engine, but the car is not worth that, you know, sometimes I'll fix it depending on how much I can get the engine for, but other times I can sell it for parts and then utilize the funds from that car to put into another car that's, you know, that won't take as much to fix.
So it all works towards the main goal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the goal is to acquire auctions license and be able to go purchase cars from the auction and you know, donate them, partnering with different churches and things like that, where they have a program for you know, people that need help, at-risk teens. And I used to, so I'll go back real quick. I used to work at a public assistance facility, a nonprofit organization called the Bethlehem Foundation. And I got my first taste of what it's like to give to somebody in need and see them elevate to the next level. And I was 14 years old at the time, but I had such a heart and desire to, when those people walked through that door, you know, everything was all on, let me see if I can help. How can I help them? And I was just, the summer job, I was just there, you know, mopping the floor and stuff. That was my first job. I couldn't really do anything, but whenever they asked me, hey, can you go down to the basement and get this groceries, and, you know, and then let them come down and pick the clothes and stuff like that. It was, I had a special place in my heart for that, because
For serving people.
Oh yeah, man, I love it, because regardless of how they feel, regardless of what they say and the things that they've experienced, they still deserve a chance.
Yeah.
You know, how can you help the next person get to the next level and not make it about you? It's not about you. It's not about what you can get from it. No, I believe that just like, everything else, we all have gifts, talents, and abilities, but it's up to us on what we do with it. The king distributes his gifts to the sons. One buried it, one squandered it. The other one invested it, and it's really up to us on what we choose to do with what God has given us. That goes for the time, it goes for the money, the resources, whatever we have. You utilize it for it. Kind of like even with this, you have a gift of radio, and to the extent of podcasts and everything else, you're utilizing it to help me, and that's your platform. And people think that your platform is limited to financial or limited to money, but it's not. It's your knowledge that you have over the next person. So what are you going to do with it? I had a shop in Dallas, and there was this rich guy that had a shop behind me. He was just a money guy. He was an investor, but he had a guy working for him, and he bought and sold high-end luxury cars. So he brings a BMW over. He brings a Mercedes and a Audi, I think. And he's like, I'm going out of town. I need these fixed. So he pays me all of the money up front for the parts and labor because he was going to be gone. So we continue to do business together. And he's like, he comes back into town, one day, and he's like, I need this done. And I got to thinking while he was gone, I was like, man, I wonder how does he make his money? What does he do? And so I asked him one day, we were sitting down, having some drinks or whatever. And I asked him, I said, hey man, how did you make your money? And he told me. And then, and I asked him, I said, can you teach me what you know? And he said, I can't do that. And to me, that let me understand that, what a lot of people hold it and hang on to it, and they're not willing to teach the next person. That's stifling to the people, the economy, because now you're selfish and holding everything to yourself, but you don't want to teach it to the next person.
It's fear-based too.
Trust me, it is. Trust me, it is. But my organization is not like that. We also are looking into, as far as the business model, we're looking into being able to teach how to maintain your car. A lot of people get cars and they just know to put gas in it, But what happens when this light comes on? What are you supposed to do? What happens when you have a flat? How do you do this? There's a class that they would go through that I would teach, or another ASC mechanic would teach.
So the people that get the cars, you take them through this process before they get the car, how to maintain the car.
Yeah, and
I think that's major.
Yeah, because and
like change your oil, check your oil, check your fluids.
Yeah. What it looks like. I created it's crazy because I created a comic book character. It's derived around that, but it's a young man. He's a teenager. His dad's a well-known mechanic in the community. Everybody loves the guy. He's fair. He loves people. And what happens is his son works at the shop, and he's been working there since he was born. Not born, but he's been there since he was a kid, and he understands what's going on. So the story picks up, or the narrative is that his dad gives him a car. It's not the best shape, but his dad is teaching him how to, build something and understand and appreciate the small steps. And so the story is that he goes around, and every day is a different thing that happens to the car. Okay, one day he has a flat, and so this particular book or comic book is teaching how to change a flat. Well, the next day it's something about, and these are different books, right, by the way, but the next day I wake up and I'm driving at nighttime or whatever, and coming home from a football game and my headlight is out. What do? It's certain things like that, and it's to the reader, it's showing the reader how to change the bulb in the car, or what happens when you run out of gas, or my belt broke on it. You're on the side of the highway. What do? And so each vehicle that I do donate, the plan is to give them roadside kits, where you get a reflector, triangle, jumper box, something to let oncoming traffic know that you're disabled, for safety reasons, because it's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen where you on the side. But what do you do? And that's the biggest thing: understanding what to do in those types of situations. So that comic book, it's set up that way. That's the whole gist of the story. And so you got multiple scenarios or different versions of the comic book where this kid is dealing with whatever happens to his car, even to the point where he's got friends at his school that they may have issues with their cars, and he's walking through them. He's showing them how to do it, because his dad's a master tech, so years of experience. He knows his stuff, so he's ahead of the game already, and it's just pointing out that you need to know this stuff when you're having a vehicle and understanding what to do when you have these types of vehicles. Yeah.
So I got another question, man.
Yeah.
Kind of a side question. So what do you think about electric vehicles?
It's the future. It is, but it's not. I'm not 100% sold on that, because I just.
So is in this comic book? Is there space for an electric car in there?
I might can create something, but it's not much that go wrong with them. I mean, it's crazy because maybe a month or so ago I worked on a Tesla. And this was my first time ever touching the car, and I jacked the wheels up. I was changing suspension parts on, so I jacked the wheel up, and I look, and I was like, man, this is the same stuff as a Chrysler, the same looking suspension, none of it's any different, it just was so surprising because here you are thinking that it's a regular car, but they use some of the same parts as Chrysler and it's crazy because actually in the building there's a lady that had a Tesla or has a Tesla, and her window regulator went out, right? So meaning the window fell down and it wouldn't stay up.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here and she's like, hey, can you fix it? I was like, yeah. So I go to Tesla thinking that I have to go to the dealership to get it, the part, and I go in there and they wouldn't give me really any information on the car. They were like, basically, they want me to bring it to them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I know. So I looked at the suspension. If the suspension is the same, the window regulator got to be something simple.
Similar, yeah.
So I ran into this guy on a marketplace. He's scrapping a Tesla, same type. And he had taken it all completely apart, battery, everything. And so he was like, yeah, it's simple. So I looked at the window regulator. I was like, dude, this can't be real. And I go back and I put it in. It's not that it's it's a simple system. I can say that. It's a simple system. It's just like a fishing pole, the reel is, the casting, the button release, all of this, it's all the same, man.
Elon, he wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel, or the engineers that he was using weren't trying to reinvent the wheel. Certain things you can keep the same. The main thing is how it's fuel consumption and how to keep it moving. But everything else, when you think about everything else, I mean, it's why should it be different unless it's saving energy or saving the planet in some kind of way?
Man, I think it's just a way for control to let you know that, hey, we can stop your car at any point in time if our infrastructure is ever,
That's the thing. That is the thing.
I would much rather my
your car's online and
your car's online. You can track it. I drive a 2006 GMC Sierra. I love that truck.
Yeah,
and it's basic. I can work on any and everything on that truck. I need to change my transmission right now, but it's so simple, and I would much rather be able to have a vehicle that I can still get parts for. I'm not restricted on, the availability of anything to it. If I get in,
they can't shut you down from a satellite.
Nope, they can't. It's not tied to the infrastructure. No, it's a straight hog. It's a combustion engine, but I can take that engine apart and rebuild it and put it back together, and it's good.
So How can people get a hold of you? Like, look at this camera and just tell people how they can get a hold of you.
We have
and tell them what you want from them. Or tell them if they want to donate, if they want to give, if they want to, whatever. Like, what can they do if somebody wants to help you out? They have a car, or they have somebody in need of a vehicle,
Absolutely.
or something like that, or they want to donate or whatever.
Yeah. So we have a Facebook page. We have Instagram. Working on. We do have different like maybe YouTube and stuff like that. But hopeonwheelsdfw@gmail.com. Send your request if you have a. And we're working on the website, by the way. But if you have a vehicle, if you want to donate, just email us, hopeonwheelsdfw@gmail.com. You can look at some of the videos that we have posted on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and we're working on TikTok too.
So that's Hope on Wheels DFW.
DFW.
Okay.
hopeonwheelsdfw@gmail.com. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the email address. So Hope on Wheels DFW is the Facebook page as well.
Yeah. Mhm.
And the Instagram.
Yes.
And the TikTok. Well, not TikTok yet.
Not TikTok. Yeah.
Stay tuned for TikTok.
Yeah. Stay tuned. It's gonna be dope. I think it'll be worth it. We need the help as we help. So as we pour back into the people. That's my heart's desire, to see people move to the next level. Get out of the rat.
I got one more question to ask you.
Yeah.
Is there anything that I didn't ask that you want to talk about, or something you want to say that I didn't ask you, or that you didn't say?
There's a lot of questions you didn't ask.
Well, just go ahead. That you want to talk about.
Well, I mean, I'm open. We can talk about anything.
What's your zodiac sign? No, I'm joking.
Oh my gosh, we just prayed, and then he want to pull up the zodiac sign. Lord help. Oh man. I will say that I'm a believer in Christ. Born and raised in church here in Oak Cliff. New Birth Baptist Church was my home church, and I was there I was born there really, and I left in 2010. I went through a divorce and stuff like that, but my pastor, rest his soul, Pastor George Pryor, he was the most humble man you would ever meet. I remember being able to. One of the things I remember about him is I would jump on my motorcycle if I was off one day or something. I would ride my motorcycle to the church, and he had an open door policy where you can just go and talk to him. He didn't have to worry about the bodyguards and all of the hoopla about you got to set an appointment, this and that. I mean, he really, I feel like, modeled his life of Christ, and how people would bring sick people to Christ, and if he would be like, he wouldn't say, hey, sit them over the mourner's bench, I'm teaching, I'll get back to him in a minute. No, he would stop right there, and he would meet their needs, and so that's how he did. I would go in, and if I just needed somebody to talk to, he would stop what he was doing, studying, and he would talk, and he was a man of education. He taught at a seminary, Southern Bible Institute, out here in Dallas, and he taught there for years. And so he never took a salary from them, but his only requirement was that all of his ministers be able to go to this school and get education for free. Yeah. We just had to pay for our books, and that's all he wanted. Yeah. He wasn't trying to take anything, because he financially made. He was wise, and so he wasn't really wanting for nothing. And I know a lot of pastors and things these days, people these days that are in clergy, they get a bad rap because of, money. And he wasn't that way. Yeah. He made wise investments. He paid the church off. I remember he made this big announcement. He paid the church off 10 years in advance. And he just, he really modeled in my opinion, his life of Christ, and it was it was a model for the ministers and the people to understand and have compassion for people. When you think about Jesus, he was a compassionate person for people. He wasn't coming to be served. I mean, you know, you look at how he washed his disciples' feet. That was an image of, you know, his point in coming, you know, to serve us, you know, but also to save, you know. I think that it's a big deal when you think about, you know, somebody of his caliber, you know, but still willing to, you know, submit. And I think that that's big. So
what was his name again?
George Pryor.
George Pryor from New Birth?
New Birth Baptist Church.
New Birth Baptist Church.
You know what Big T Bazaar is?
Yes.
It's the church across the street from Big T Bazaar.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Big T.
Yeah. You know what's funny, man?
Big T, man.
You know what's crazy about that?
Off of Loop 12.
Yep. We used to skip church, me and my brother and other friends. I got a funny story. One day, we used to skip church and we would go run around the neighborhood, do a little mischievous stuff, or we would go to Big T Bazaar, and we would cut through the backwoods of the church, and it was so funny because my brother and I were athletic, you know, and then we had this one guy named Stefan. He was with us, and we were all around the same age. Well, we were trying to hurry up and get back to church because church was almost out, and you know, Mom's gonna be looking for us. Where y'all at? You know. Man, we were running across Loop 12, and this boy slipped and fell in the middle of the street, dude, and cars are coming. And it was, and I mean, and we had. I mean,
it's not funny. I mean,
it was funny. It was. Look. I listen. This boy had on some Stacey Adams, and they weren't they weren't the ones that had the rubber on the bottom.
They were smooth.
They was the smooth ones. Yeah, you know good and well.
It was sliding on.
Man, he was trying to turn as he was running and slipped and fell in the middle of the street, dude. And my brother and I were laughing as we were running. At the same time, we had to stop it. He ended up getting caught by one of the deacons.
Oh, wow.
You know, because we had this mean deacon that always trying to get in the church, you know. But it was so funny because he was standing outside smoking a cigarette.
The deacon?
The deacon was. And he saw us running across the street, but he saw Stefan fall in the middle of the street. Dude, I swear, it was the funniest thing, man. Yeah. Listen, I enjoyed my childhood.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna even lie. Like my mom, we didn't really have a curfew. We did all kind of stuff, man. It just, yeah, we had a lot of fun. Yeah. My mom let us be free, you know, and my dad was a stiff one. But my mom was, yeah, she was, I think it was also, I remember us bringing a dog home and my dad was like, no, you can't have no dog here, you know. And my mom was taken up for it. She was like, but they're boys, you know. She knew how we felt about dogs. And I remember them getting into a big argument about it. And she stood her ground. She was like, no, they're boys. And so mostly my dad let us keep the dog. But it was just, you know, we had a lot of freedom growing up. But
and I used to bring dogs home. When I was, it was crazy. I bring dogs home to get tired of them.
But you know what? It's funny because, you know, when you think about it, you know, I think dogs, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know how to describe, but I would say even with my dog. One day I was, or it's been a couple times, right? So I was getting laundry out of the dryer, and you know how you pick up the big load of laundry and you're trying to take it all. I didn't use a basket. I put them all in my arms and I'm walking them to the couch because that's where they sit for 4 or 5 days.
Right. That's about sounds about right. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. So I got and I know that I dropped something. I felt it fall and I stepped on it and kept going in. And I look back as I'm getting ready to drop the clothes on the couch, and he picks it up and he brings it to me and drops it. And I just was like, man, dude, like, how did you know to do that? Like, but he's such a highly intelligent dog, man. He's that's my buddy.
The Cane Corso?
Cane Corso. Yeah.
Connie Corso?
Connie Corso, yeah.
What's his name again?
Paco,
that's right.
Yeah, he's about 130 pounds.
Yes, he is.
And
And he barked at me one time.
yeah, what was you on the elevator or what was this?
Look,
What was that?
we'll talk about it off.
But you know what, man? That is my buddy, man. He's got the right temperament when it comes to
Yeah, he does. To scaring people and like really showing up and like
Hey,
being that comic book character.
He looks intimidating anyway, you know. But
He does look intimidating.
But he has a gentle side to him that I often see. But he's very alert, very attentive. But when he gets serious, he's serious, and that's it. Like it's you know. So, but he listens to me very well. You know, he's a goofball too. He wakes me up every morning. It's almost like it's 6:30 every morning. Like, are you watching the clock or what are you watching my phone to look what time it is? Whatever. It's
To take him outside?
Yeah. Like he's
His body rhythm.
He's every moment, every time, every morning, he's like, he'll rest his head on my bed and he starts whimpering until he's not trying to wake me up, but he's trying to wake me up, you know.
Yeah.
He's like a soft, you know, can you wake up so we can go? And he's whining, you know. It's like this big 130-pound brute is crying about going outside. You know, that's the highlight of his day. When I come home and when he goes outside, you know. So as I left out this morning, he's waiting right by the door. So as soon as I open the door, when I come home, he's waiting right there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So he's an extremely loyal dog. I love the boy. Yeah.
Well, man, thank you for coming on the podcast, man.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah.
So
yeah.
One more time, Hope on Wheels DFW. At Gmail.
Hope on Wheels DFW at gmail.com.
Facebook and Instagram.
Facebook and Instagram. And you can check out the Fox 4 segment that they did. It's about 5 minutes long, maybe, but it ran all day. Like it's crazy because I was after that segment.
The Fox 4 segment about Hope on Wheels.
Yes.
Okay.
I was in the mall one day and I was just walking around, just whatever, and this couple stopped me. Hey, you're the guy from the news. I was like, oh my gosh, and it caught me off guard. I'm not a celebrity, so they made a big deal of it, and I honored it. I mean, I wasn't running from it, but they said they were praying, that the organization grows, and so. It was encouraging, because I'm just a regular.
Do you have a place where they can donate? You have a Cash App. You have any kind of nonprofit, like anywhere they can go to just donate, or do they have to just talk to you first and you'll?
Well, so our website is under construction.
Okay.
And on that, it should be up soon. We had a little run-in with. Paid some people to do the website and it took off but we're working on that. Okay. But right now the communication is, social media right now, until our website gets up and then they'll be able to donate there. Okay. But yeah, it's, man, I love what I do. Dealing with people is tough, it. But it's you got to look at it. It's the greater good. This is a ministry, and I stopped using the term organization, and thinking of it that way, and understanding. One of my mentors told me, say, you got to start looking at it as ministry. It's ministry because you're pouring into people, you're empowering people, you're helping people move to the next level. That's what we're supposed to do, man. Utilize what you know to help the next person.
Do you need your own podcast? Because I try to close 3 times and we keep going.
Oh, man. We can keep going. It's a lot to say. Yeah.
No.
I didn't know you were closing.
No. It's just funny, but I know not to stop. But the thing is that I'm like, you just got to just keep going and let you. Because, I mean, it's interesting. If it wasn't, I would just stop. Yeah.
What else you want to know? I mean,
No.
It's a lot of stuff, man. I can tell you some stories about people I've dealt with donating cars. I donated a car to this young lady, and she was she was living in a hotel, and she tells me, after I donated the car, I drove to Oklahoma to get this car, and I fixed the car there. It had a blown head gasket, so it was a Chevy Equinox, and I mean it's not too hard to work on. So I fixed it there in Oklahoma. It took me a few hours to do it, and
You changed the head?
the head gasket, yeah.
Oh, the gasket. So you took all the stuff there and just changed
the
them.
intake off, the upper intake, the lower intake, and then pull the heads off.
Gotcha.
That one you don't have to deal with the timing chain. You just do the make sure you set the push rods and everything back right. But the timing is in the center of the engine, so you don't have to deal with that. So it's not a lot. Yeah. But I fixed it there, and we drove it back to Dallas. So it's 4 hours, and it needed more work, but I discovered it once I drove it. Radiator needs to be replaced. Wheel bearings, both wheel bearings need to be replaced. I replaced the water pump and the thermostat, all of that stuff. And then the car was running so good. And then she gets it, and then she's like, 2 weeks later, she's like, I'm gonna need to be reimbursed. And I was like, reimbursed for what? And she said, well, I took my car to the shop and they said it needs this. I said, man, look, that's your car. But it was so discouraging.
So you gave her a car.
Yeah.
And she wanted you to reimburse
her
for paying to keep it up.
She didn't even pay to keep it up. She just took it and had it diagnosed. And they said, of course, the shop is going to tell her, you need all of this and that. And
well, that would be the first case of ungratefulness. Welcome to Miss Ungrateful.
Man, look, I cried about that.
For ungratefulness. Check it out.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Wow.
Is that going to be in there?
Yeah.
Listening to us,
Okay. Oh my gosh, bro. But I cried about that, man, because my heart was in helping her.
Yeah.
And her kids. And
some people, that's entitlement.
It is, dude. Like I just, and I really wanted to help her because I knew I've been where she's at. You know, I remember we lived in a hotel for a long time. We lived in a women's a shelter with my mom. Yeah. Growing up, I mean, so I understood where she was at, and which is why I wanted to help. And she was, she turned it around and was like, you need to reimburse me. It was like $1,500. They said that the heater core was out and stuff like this, and I was like, dude, listen. I say, you have two options. I say, you can return that car. Or you can keep it and be grateful. I said, but I can find someone else to donate that car to because somebody else needs it. And she had been driving it for 3 weeks or so with, DoorDash. She was working, she was able to make money with that car. And then, of course, it's a used car. Something's going to happen to it, but you're putting miles and stress on it every day. Your job is to maintain that car, change the oil when you need to, change the fluids.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did she get any help on wheels?
No.
Did she get any help on wheels?
Oh man, it was tough, boy. I again, I cried about that because, and this is the first time me even saying this, but I cried about it because that was my heart, and I put my own money and time. I mean, because I'm not getting any funding from this is money that I'm working for as my regular job of working on cars every day.
Well, we hoping to change that.
Man, I hope.
Tell him one more time.
Hope on Wheels DFW@gmail.com. We need cars. We need funding. We need a building. Yeah, it's a warehouse space. I'm looking for something like that because
to store the cars, to work on the cars,
to store the cars, and work on the.
And you need people who want to donate, who may have skills that mechanics and or you can recruit if you're good with getting people out there to donate.
Yeah, you need donate their time of administration, auto repair.
Hallelujah.
Because I eventually want to be able to help people coming out of prison too. Helping them get a head start and back on their feet. I mean, if they've shown that they've did their time and and contribute. They can become contributing factors to society.
I'm smiling.
Yeah.
I'm smiling because it reminds me like at church when it's testimony service and there's a brother that's always up there.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you this story. I was at church one time, and this preacher asked this one dude to stand up and pray. Like, everybody stand up. And they said, Brother so-and-so, can you lead the congregation in prayer? Brother so-and-so bowed his head and started praying.
And the Lord said...
And he had everybody standing up for about 30 minutes.
Oh, my God.
I was laughing.
That sounded like them deacons praying,
Oh, my goodness. But see, I was upstairs in the sound booth.
Okay.
Sitting down, looking at everybody else standing up. And I was laughing.
Oh, my God.
Okay, I'm going to tell you this, too. So one time, I was on the Tom Joyner Morning Cruise.
Okay. I heard about that years ago. That was a long time ago.
Brother by the name George Wallace.
Oh, yeah.
He said, I want all the preachers, raise your hand, He said, stand up, everybody stand up.
Yeah.
Everybody. He named like all the people and he said, all the preachers stand up. So he had all the preachers stand up and he started just continuing on with his jokes.
Yeah.
And it was like, no. So they started sitting down and said, no, y'all stand up. The preachers stand up. That's how y'all do us. he said, that's how y'all do us.
Oh, man. Yeah. You go to them old traditional Baptist churches, they you'll find some funny stuff. We used to get put out of church. My mom and because we used to, back in the day, we watched a lot of Comic View. We watched a lot of different. And it's funny you said George Wallace because he was on Comic View a few times. I remember seeing him. But we would watch Def Comedy Jam, Comic View, and there was a book we used to have. It was called Your Mama's Soul. And it was all the scores in the book. Your mama's so fat, such and such. And we would really read that book. That was like a Bible for us because we couldn't wait to get to school to
score
on something. But what? Well, we was lighting people up, boy. And I tell people now, I tell people now, all right, you don't want to go there because I'm telling you, listen, this is what we did for a living when we were kids. You don't want to go there with me.
This was our entertainment.
This was our entertainment, boy. We watched
at every cost. Nobody. You just spared nobody.
We grew up watching, and you can think about it. All the black comics, they had their shows and stuff like that. Will Smith, he had a sitcom. Martin, Jamie Foxx was one of my favorite. He. There was a lot of comedians, that had their own segment. But anyway, yeah, we this, my childhood, man. Yeah, we grew up kind of rough, but we made the best of it, Yeah.
Well, brother, thank you.
Yeah, man. Thank you again. Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Got it, man.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. Hope on Wheels DFW at gmail.com. Yeah.
So, thank you for listening to the Southside 457 podcast. Go to Hope on Wheels, DFW, see him at Facebook, donate to the brother, reach out to him, see how, if you know somebody, if you're not the one, if you know somebody or know how you can help, just reach out to him. And we'll see you next time on the Southside 457 podcast. Peace.
Southside 457.